So this drawing here actually doesn't go here in the story, but I needed a reference for the character, so I just used the Q and the W keys to toggle through my drawings. And by the way, this one's probably going to get redrawn. I don't really like the way he doesn't really look right. Okay, so that means gives me a reference here in an adjacent drawing, and just toggle between these. Oops. Yep. A lot of times it's just little things like what you saw right there, the positioning of the eyes, just a little too far down on his skull. That's no big deal as long as you can catch those mistakes and deal with them. Notice that in the other drawing he's got a pretty clear indication of light colored eyes. Okay, so basically the eyes still have a couple issues. Well, it's cool that we can just drag and drop things around and make it work. So you'd think it wouldn't be this hard to, just basically draw a person so they look the same from one frame to the next, or one drawing to the next. But it's one of those things that does take practice. Finding the more I draw these characters, the more I am able to just crank out pretty straight lines. That seem to be fairly accurate. In other words, I don't have to do as much sketching as I used to in order to pin down the shapes. Alright, and I think this, that's not really quite right. And what happens is the more you do it, essentially you get to know the characters. And it just gets easier and easier to draw them. I want this to have a bit of a squinting look. Okay, so now my only problem here is now his eyes look a little bit too A, kind, and B, American. I think I'm going to redo his brows. Give this a minute to gel. Think about, yeah. He definitely needs a little bit more tude going on. And so, yeah, I mean, this is basically just an alternative version of the one that I drew earlier. Alright. And I'm pretty sure I'm not happy with this. Yeah. Uh-huh. I see the problem. I knew there was something I was missing. I think this is it. This guy has actually fairly prominent rounded cheekbones. Okay, now that that's addressed, I definitely want to look at one more thing. Yeah, just not quite happy on this shape of his jawline. Okay, I wasn't sure if I'd be able to get away with that. It looks like I really can't. If you get too low with the mouth, all of a sudden it doesn't look like him anymore. There's one characteristic of this guy for sure would be the way his eyes are set a little wider than normal. Okay, let's check from here to here. Which one is it? Silly me. Okay, yeah. 382. I'm going to change this one to 382. Those shouldn't be in there. Just a quick comparison. Yeah, he doesn't even look like the same guy. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to cheat. The best way to make sure a character looks correct is to only draw them once and then create variations on that character in subsequent drawings. So that's what I'm going to do. I am simply going to cheat. Okay, now one question that comes to mind. Let's see. He's not really centered up there. But yeah, this is kind of a chimpy thing in the sense that it is a bit of a cop-out to say, well, it's hard to draw the guy the same way twice. But having said that, if you just sketch to sort of come up with a design or whatever, you're going to have some stuff that happens to click, it looks good or whatever. And the question really becomes, is it worth it to knock yourself out? Oh shoot, can't do that. How can I do this? Let me hit the S key and then hit Control V and see what happens. Nope, it doesn't work. Okay, what I was trying to do is, it's kind of weird because OpenToonZ, sometimes you Control C, you paste and you get the widgets, and sometimes you don't. And in this case, as luck would have it, I don't. So what I could do, because again, I'm really just sort of cheating here. So what I could do is go Control V, select this, because now it's in a different layer, right? So select this guy, Shift, get him right there, erase that. So yeah, this is definitely a bit of a clunky way to do it, but it does work. Okay. So now, problem is, I don't like that pose. I do not like that pose. So what I am going to do, actually, is I am going to try to line these guys up and fix it this way. See, that time, I guess it must be because I was pasting from one level to a different level. That must be the reason why you didn't get the widget. Definitely a tad irritating. Okay, so let's go ahead and erase those just to keep the workspace clean, as it were. Okay. Okay, so he's got this arc here, which would become basically this arc here. The main thing is we've got to keep the eyes sufficiently far apart. Okay, not too bad. Other than that, and actually I guess that too. That's better. Okay, so now I'm gonna literally Control C. Control V. Seems like there were some. Yes. Well, can't really do that. I tell you what, this is where layering becomes a thing. Because, man, I'll tell you what, there's a lot of shots with this particular pose, which suggests that it really should be in a separate layer, right? Okay. That certainly worked a lot better. Control C. Okay, that's a little bit dangerous. Well, I suppose I'll just compensate it for it like this time. I really would like to be able to combine those into single images. Okay, so here we have a potentially risky situation because that image is used elsewhere, so therefore we need to have a copy of it to edit. So having done that, now I can line these guys up. And I think here, seem to be bumping into a problem here. I think what I'm going to do is take this whole segment and just move it to a different level. There. I just did that so I could give her a line of dialogue. Okay, so now this is interesting. This is that situation where you... Excuse me, I'm drinking my morning coffee. Where you are seeing character in your mind. I just have to get my pen to cooperate with my brain. She's got a little bit of a not entirely happy attitude towards this guy for obvious reasons. Okay, so now that pose could be modified to accommodate the full complement of lip sync mouth shapes. So etc., etc. Okay, so that's cool. Not too many setbacks here this morning. What I need to do now is probably figure out what the lip sync is going to be. This is going to be probably a sound effect. So, just for fun, I'm going to put it in there. We actually had thought about doing this whole thing as a manga or a comic book before trying to do it as an anime. Mm-hmm. Only one little thing. Yeah, I think her jawline is not quite right. She definitely has a very square jaw. No doubt about it. In fact, I'm going to look at my character reference for her right now. I've got it up on another screen. Boom. And there's Akari. Yeah, I mean, you could argue that really this should be softened a little bit. How did I run GIMP? I must have double-clicked my character reference sheet by accident, or as people here in Indiana say, on accident. Now, when I grew up, we never would have used the term on accident. It would always be by accident. But for some reason, in Indiana, they say on accident. So, there it is. We're pushing 30 minutes here. Pushing 30 minutes. Huh? 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 Oh, yeah. We're rocking and rolling, baby. I guess as long as I'm here and have nothing better to do, I'm going to go ahead and fill this guy in. As I recall, I had a detailed drawing of him that did I do it yesterday? I mean, I think it was last night. He was kind of a dark kind of look to his face, as I recall. I might be remembering wrong, actually. So, 10:09. I guess I will go ahead and okay, so I'm gonna jump to the dialogue. Oopsie poo. Yeah, that drawing has definitely got to go. It would be better to take this one, scale it up so it's all fuzzy and trace over it, and it would be a lot more accurate to... I don't know what the heck. For some reason that pose just does not even look like the guy. But yeah, we got to get some dialogue in here. So I'm going to take a break because I need to review what the dialogue is going to be. And that will determine how many back and forth shots we have between Akari and Mr. Bad Guy.